Welcome back to Allison Customs Project Car TV. I'm Jeff Allison, and thank you for watching.
Welcome back. Today I'm getting back on the Mustang here. I don't even know if I've shown you. It's got all this sheet metal in, so I bolted it up. That took about a half a day, and it's just bolted in place. The doors don't have latches or anything in them, but they fit pretty well. I'm actually pretty impressed with the sheet metal I got. But I want to go ahead and start getting the suspension completed, so I've got to get this fender off and start working on the lower control arm mounts on this side, and then I'm going to try and get all the upper control arm mounts tacked in place, and get the lower control arm that we built months ago for this side, go ahead and get it bolted in place today, hopefully. See what other few things I can try and get to, and got some of the roll cage up here that still hasn't, like this fender bar hasn't even been put in, so see how much of that we can get done and get started. We'll get started by getting this fender off. These are the brackets that hold the upper control arms, and second set I'm doing today. This particular bracket is for the upper and then the front of the car, so the upper front bracket for that particular bushing. And all I'm trying to do is I got to get these worked out to 5/8 so that this bolt goes through there. And you can see when I cut these out on the CNC plasma table, I just burned a hole in the center there, and so basically I got to line up that center and then line up the center and then go ahead and drill it out or mill it out. So we'll get that going. What I'm doing is just trying to use the point of that bit there to line up the center of the hole. And that should be it right about there. And then now we can go ahead, put a little oil on there, and we can go ahead and clean it up. Get that part done. Now I can take that out of there. Center drilled. I'm going to put this drill bit in here. Alright, with that done, we have two sets of the front uppers together. Set these vice pieces out of the way. You get a nice round 5/8 inch hole. Okay, so this set of mounts is the upper A-arm and the rear. So again, we just got to cut the 5/8 hole for the bolt to go through. Got this set and one more pair to do, and then we'll be ready to get these tacked onto the car and ready to build the upper A-arms. Okay, so what I've got is this line is the center line of my spindle, and I've been transferring that line, which is this edge of this tubing. You'll see there's one over here. I don't know if you can see that. Well, you can't really see that other side. Anyway, I've been transferring that line from the original, when I started taking this car apart and I had my original spindles on here. This was the center line of those original spindles. And on my whole frame jig, so down low, I have it marked on both sides. I have measurements written down. Like I said, I've been carrying that number or that line over since I started the project. From that, based on my design for my suspension, I know that I need the center, forward and aft anyway, the center of my control arm mount, forward control arm mount on the lower side, 5 inches in front of that center, and my rear one is 9 inches back. So you'll see that these mounts will mount on the inside and hanging down. So if they were underneath right now, they'd be underneath hanging down, but like that with the center of this gap on that line. So just like this. And I'll back the camera off here in a little bit and you'll be able to watch a little closer. Anyway, and then I've got a set for the rear, and they're different lengths. This set is my front lower. This set is the rear lower, and you'll see I have this little area notched out that's got to be cut out. They were originally the same design, the same piece, as if the whole frame rail was going to be just the 2x3. But because it gets wider here where it transitions down to the lower frame rail that goes under the floor pans, part of it's got to be notched out to make it fit for the rear. So, like I said, I'm going to back the camera off. What we're going to do is we're going to space these out, the correct amount for the bushing, and then we'll go ahead and get them tacked on, and then I'll get those others trimmed up and tacked on as well. Alright guys, that's it for today. Didn't get quite as far as I thought maybe would. Obviously didn't get started on the upper control arms themselves, but that's coming. Part of the problem with that is you can see this has a ball joint already pressed into this spindle. So I've got to make a receiver for that ball joint, basically a cup. And so I've got the material to turn that, but I don't have the ream to make the angle or the pitched hole for that ball joint. You know, they're not a straight hole, they're on a taper, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I've got to get the correct taper for this ball joint, and then I can drill the small size of the hole, the minimum size, and then run the reamer in there, and that will open up the large side and give me this. So I've got to make two of those, and I've got some, I think it's some 2-inch diameter material over there to cut down. So I really got to get that done so that I can make one of those jigs like I did on the bottom control arms, set that piece in place with its hole already ready to go, and then I can mount my bushings where they, set up my bushing mounts where they're supposed to go, and then build the tubes between them. So I really can't go any further on this until I have that taper. So I need to go ahead and get that measured out. I can't remember. I have it written down somewhere what taper this ball joint is. And then once I have that, I can go ahead and order that in. I should have done it months ago. Just it's a pretty expensive taper, and I've just been dragging my feet, waiting until I was closer to being ready to use it. Anyway, so I'll get that ordered, get the jig set up, and then I'll come back and we'll film some of that, making the upper control arms, get them mounted. Once I have the upper control arm mounted and in place where I'm happy with that, then I'm going to go ahead and start building my internal shock structure. And I'm going to run the shock waves. So it's an airbag with a shock all built in. I'm going to run that all the way around. So I really need all that stuff in place so that when I put the shock wave in there, I know exactly where to put my mounts. So again, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed, and we'll see you again soon.
Thanks for watching Allison Customs Project Car TV. Like us on Facebook and check us out at AllisonCustomsOnline.com.